I have known Indra for a really long time, and I was thinking about what words I would use to describe her, and some of them would be visionary, competitive, tough-minded, caring. Indra makes things happen. She has a natural leadership characteristic that you have used not only to lead PepsiCo and in your previous roles, but you also influence Walmart in a big way.
Appreciate it, Doug, but let me give you the compliment back. Doug and I know each other for a long, long time. And I've always referred to Doug as not just Doug McMillan, I've called him Doug McMillan Walton, because he represents the best of Walmart, the values of Walmart. And believe me, even though we're a generation apart in age, Doug, I've learned...
I'm not sure.
I'm much older. I've learned so much from Doug, the way he operates this large company and is repositioning it. So I think this is a two-person backslapping society, and I'm the charter member of it.
So as we think about what these people might be interested in or benefit from the most, the first thing that comes to my mind is change. And I know your business well enough and know what you're thinking well enough to know that you're facing a situation where the world is changing very dramatically, people are changing, the environment you're operating in is changing, and you're trying to position PepsiCo for the future. So maybe we start out with talking about, what do you see that convinces you that PepsiCo needs to change, and what is it that you're trying to accomplish during your tenure?
I mean, it's many questions nested in one, but let me take a shot at it. I think every company today, the CEOs of every company, are looking at the environment, and it's sort of, the investor expects you to be this duck that's just sort of swimming across the water. And in the past, these ducks would sort of furiously swim underneath the water just to move ahead. Now it's like you've got to paddle on steroids, because the pace of change is so enormous that you've got to paddle even faster just to make small movements. And nobody's going to give you a break and say you can slow down or you can actually stay in place for a while. What's changing? And I'll talk about the food and beverage industry because, in a way, our interests intersect there. Every aspect of the business is changing. What is healthy food is changing. What do people want to eat and drink is changing. How should products be labeled has not been defined. There's no authority that defines it. Supply chains are globalizing, yet traceability and safety standards have not been established. There's an NGO in every corner. So there's somebody there calling us out when we don't do things right, but then there's no standard to look at in terms of what we need to do right. The retail environment is changing, whether it's the emergence of Walmart in the 90s and the year 2000s, or now the hard discounters and the emergence of e-commerce. Everything about the world is changing. And then, right here in Silicon Valley, all of the best and brightest that we want in our companies are being recruited by these startups. So we have a tough time recruiting the right talent to run our companies. I'm speaking to all of you. So I think what happens is that we are facing unprecedented change in our business models. And on top of that, we have to globalize, but the world is a tough place right now. We've got economic volatility, macroeconomic crises in many, many places, political upheaval. So I think companies like ours, if you really want to keep performing, you've almost got to change your model all the time. And Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum talks about this and says, you've always got to be in beta. It sounds wonderful as a set of words, but when you actually have to practice in the company, it's pretty scary. Because it's not motivating a small group of startups or a small group of employees who have the same thinking that you do. We have 260,000 employees. And when you decide to zag instead of zig, you've got to tell them what you're going to be doing, why you're doing it, how it's going to impact them, and why they all have to come along with you on the journey. Let me give you examples. When we decided to change our product portfolio, to go from a predominantly fun-for-you product line to including more better-for-you, good-for-you products, different profitability, very different product line, closer to agriculture, change the model in the company. Our employees sat there going, what is she doing? Why do we have to change? We're doing pretty well selling these products. Why do we have to change? But the challenge of the leader is looking around the corner and making the change before it's too late to make the change.